Good evening, parents and students. Hope you're doing well. This is a mapping exercise. It could be grammar, actually, but we're going to be trying to add prepositional phrases to our sentences when we write. So take your time. We're going to be circling the prepositional phrase now, not just the preposition itself. And for every preposition that's in a sentence, there's a noun that's associated with it, that belongs with it, and a lot of words in between. So give it a shot. It's pretty straightforward. There's a sample. Good luck. Prepositions are common in sentences, and we have a list of 40 prepositions. And we're looking at prepositions in complete sentence. And when we mark these sentences, that's called mapping. We're mapping sentences. So when I say we're mapping these sentences for prepositions, we're trying to find the preposition, we're going to identify them. Now we're going to map the prepositions for their prepositional phrases. Now a preposition shows direction and location and relationship of two nouns. And they follow a very specific order. There is always the preposition first, and then there could be some words here, and then at the end there's always a noun. Now this preposition and noun together, okay, with the words that go in between, are called a prepositional phrase. Now, this assignment was on week 14, so these sentences look familiar. And I want to show you how we're going to be mapping these sentences for prepositional phrases now. We aren't going to be dealing just with prepositions. We're going to identify the noun as well. It's really quite easy. So let's look at this first sentence. A gray kitten drank milk from a small dish. Okay, we know the preposition is from, so I want you to put P's. Okay, identify both the preposition and the noun. A P over the preposition. And the noun, which one of these things can you see? Can you see a from? No. Can you see an A? No. Can you see a small? No. Can you see a dish? Yes. So nouns are things, are common things, we see every day. There's also things we touch and hear and smell. So nouns are things that we identify with our senses. So yes, we can see a dish, and yes, this is a noun. Now you've been studying nouns since actually kindergarten, because it's one of the easier things to understand, one of the easier words to understand. Now, to circle the entire prepositional phrase, we're going to start from, and we're going to end with dish. We start from the preposition and we end with a noun. So now we aren't just circling the preposition, we're circling the noun. Now, people, pronouns, are also nouns. So let's look at number 2. This one's a little bit tricky. This package is for Miss Smith. We have to imagine that there was a Miss Smith, and if you knew there was a Miss Smith and you could see Miss Smith, you would say, ah, she's a noun. Where would the preposition be? For is the preposition. And we have miss in between, which is okay. It doesn't matter. The preposition prepositional phrase starts from the preposition and goes all the way to the noun. And any words in between are all caught up in the prepositional phrase. So let's look at number 1 again. From a small dish. That is not a complete sentence. It's a prepositional phrase. But it makes up this complete sentence from this capital A to the period. For Miss Smith, or Mrs. Smith. This is not, what we've got circled is not a complete sentence. This package is for Miss Smith. Starts with a capital, ends with a period. It makes a part of this sentence complete. You can't say this package is. You can't, it doesn't make sense. You're going to have to say Who is it for? This one, a gray kitten drank milk, we could put a period after here and this would still be a complete sentence. And we'll talk about mapping complete sentences, but right now we're just looking for prepositional phrases. I'm going to kind of assume that most of you in the 4th grade know what a complete sentence is, and we're just going to look at them more closely. I'm going to expect you to write them when you sit down and write incomplete sentences. Let's look at one that might have 2 prepositions in it. Let's look at number 12 down here. They sat under an oak tree for a picnic. Okay. Where would the preposition be? If you said under, you're correct. Under what? What are they under? They're under an oak tree. Here's the noun. You can't, well, maybe you can see an oak if we're abbreviating it and just identifying a tree as an oak. But tree is actually the noun, and this becomes an adjective. So this whole thing, under an oak tree, is your prepositional phrase. An is an article. Remember we talked about 3 articles? The is an article and a is an article. We'll get to that a little bit later. So this would be a prepositional phrase. Now in this sentence they have another preposition, for a picnic. Here's another article. Articles identify nouns that are usually right next to each other. So for is a preposition and picnic is the noun. I've been to picnics. I know what a picnic looks like. So this would be 2 prepositional phrases right next to each other. So this one has 2 prepositional phrases right next to each other. So be very careful when you're looking through these. There is a preposition in each one of these, so there has to be a prepositional phrase, and sometimes there can be 2, and I've seen even sentences with 3, but that's rare. So this one has 1 prepositional phrase, and this one has 1 prepositional phrase, and number 12 down here has 2 prepositional phrases. So here's your samples. See if you can find other prepositional phrases. Find the preposition and the noun that goes with it and circle the entire phrase.